all and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will see how to manage users, groups and roles. So let's get started. So once you have logged into your TestRail account, you need to go and click on this administration option. In the administration option, there is something called as the users and roles. Once you click on it, you will see three tabs, that is users, groups and roles. So let us first understand what is roles all about. So if you consider in any organization, there are multiple roles, right? There is a lead, there is a manager, there is a QA engineer, etc. So similarly, you can define any role from here, and for that specific role, you can provide a specific set of accesses. For example, if I go and click on this edit option next to lead, you will see that the lead has the following permissions. That is, the lead can add and edit attachments, delete attachments, so on and so forth. So this is how a role is created and defined. So let's just create one role. So if I have to go and click on this add a role option. Here, let me just write something as QA engineer, and I can set this role to a default role. That means whenever a new user will be created, that user will get this QA engineer as the default role. That means it will have all the accesses that I have defined for this QA engineer. So let me just click on this. I will provide few of the accesses from here, and then I will click on this add role option. So once I have clicked on this add role option, you can see that this new role has been created by me, which is QA engineer, and right now it's set to default. So if you see, other than this role, there are other roles as well, that is read only, lead, no access. So you can define any set of roles, but you need to understand that you can delete other roles but not the role which is set to default. So if you see, there is an edit option available, but there is no delete option that is available here because this role has been set to default role. Similarly, let's navigate to group tab. So right now there are no groups that are created here, but I can go ahead and create a new group. Again, group can be any group. For example, it can be a QA group or any project name specific group. For example, ABC project group or a dev group, etc. I go and click on the add group option. I can name this as a QA group, and right now here there are no users that have been added. We just have one user, that is this one, which I have logged in through. So you can see just one name that is available here. But once we add multiple users, this list is going to populate, and then you can select which users you want to add to this specific group. But right now, let's just create this group called QA and just add one user, which is this. And let me just click on the add group option. So if you see, the group is created, that is the QA group. Right now it just has one user. It is allowing me to edit that as well as even delete the group. So by editing, say tomorrow I have multiple users that I have added to my TestRail account, I can simply go and click on this edit option and then add whatever other users will populate here. Then we can go to the users option. So right now I just have one user, like I said. Let us just create another user. So for example, I can write ABC. Okay, I have to specify the email address for that user. I can enable the email notifications for that user. I can set a language. I can set a theme and the time zone. Then there are two options, that is, I can invite this user that I just now created via email, or I can manually set a password for him right now. Okay, so once I have defined all these details, There is something also called as the access tab. So right now the role is QA engineer and the user is active. If I want to even make this user as an administrator, I can do so. If I also want to add this user to this specific group that we have created, I can do that as well. And projects. So right now there are no projects that have been created by us, so it's blank. Now let's just click on the add user button. So once we have clicked on the add user button, this user has been created for me, and since I made him as an administrator, you can see that admin is being populated in the bracket. The last active state says never logged in because the user is just now created and has never logged in. The status is active. The role is QA engineer. Because this is the role we set as default, right? That is why this role is seen as a default role here. I can go and click on edit button again. Now there is no option to delete this user if you want to delete this user in TestRail. Only thing you can do is forget this user. So if I click on this option, forget this user, it will ask me for a confirmation whether I want to remove this user. And if I click this option and click on OK, see, it says successfully forgot this user. All records associated with the original username will be gone. So if I go back again to users and roles, see, this is the user that we just now removed. So you can see all the details have been gone to some random value. Now there is another way to add multiple users. That is, you can add, it is not feasible, right, to go and create every single user. Say you want to create 10 or 15 users all at once. So you can simply use this add multiple users option. So if I go and click on this add multiple users option, there are something called as steps to follow given here. That means for every user that you want to create, you need to give the name, comma, and also the email address for that user. So let me just create two. So if you see this, once I have created these users by using the specific format that TestRail has mentioned, this is how the preview is looking like. That is the name as well as the email address, and it states that these are the two new users. Again, it says send invitation email to new users if I want to invite them, and there is this option to configure additional fields such as the role or group or keep the defaults. So I can go ahead and add the language, local time zone, role. Okay, if I want to also go and add it to a specific group that we created, that is QA, I can do that, and then I will click on the add multiple users option. So it says that these multiple users have been successfully added. So let's just return to users and role and, and verify whether these users have been created or not. So yeah, here it is. You can see these two new users that have been created, the email address. The last active says never logged in, the status is active, and this is the default role that they have got, that is the QA engineer. Now there is also, this is like a drop down. You can go and, you know, select whichever role you want to grant this user. So it can even be a lead role and it will change accordingly. So is the edit option. Similarly, you can go and select multiple all together and then click on edit option. It will also allow you to perform that edit. So that is all about users, groups and roles. So in the next session, we will see how to create a new project. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to my channel.